YouTube channel King Nazru. Yeah. I was originally going to do my video talking about my thoughts on the whole Sakura, Sasuke, and Karen issue that was in the last chapter of Naruto, and I will get to that. But after looking back on my last video about Gyokuro Shuzen being in the top 10 manga anime villains list, uh, and I kind of stumbled and kind of was vague on why I felt she was deserved that title. I mean, deserved that honor. Yeah, yeah, I kind of felt I could do better. It was mainly due to the fact that the power was on the computer was low, and I kind of and YouTube's recording can be pretty fickle with how long I can record, so I tried to keep things short. But I feel I could do better, so consider this like my second chance at giving you a better reason. So basically, this is going to be like a character analysis of Gyokuro Shuzen to explain why she was considered for the top 10. So when we are introduced to Gyokuro Shuzen via backstory, she is the wife of Isis Shuzen and the mother of Kahlua Shuzen and the uh, soon back then soon coming daughter Kokoa. But Isis Shuzen had a mistress with an Akasha, and they gave birth to Makakashia. And when Koko was born, she thought that, Gyokuro thought that she could get her husband back, but Isis decided to dedicate to Akasha and her ideals of human and monster coexistence. And this drove Gyokuro off the deep end. And furthermore, she decided to just be flat out done with her daughter Coco even as a baby, and just focus all her attention on Kahlua. Uh, and then we see a little bit further, not too further back, after Mocha, Akasha, and Aqua Shuzen were uh, managed to suppress Dracula, but at the cost of Akasha being devoured and Mocha slowly losing her memories due to being having her nature and power sealed by the rosary given to her by her mother Akasha. And Gyokuro decides to study one Akasha's rosary and learn that it could had the ability to control Dracula as she thought it did, and decided to play for her revenge, and ended up joining Fairy Tail in the quest to wipe out humanity in order to spite Akasha. And she also decided to recruit every one of her family members into doing so, whether they did it voluntarily or not so, as we get further on. And we cut to the present time, where we see her as the second in command of Fairy Tail, second only to the Masked King, who had a big reveal, which I won't spoil because that's not all too important right now. Uh, and she was basically giving her speech about how they were going to wipe out all humanity. And when she sensed that some of the people who didn't agree with her were actually people who were infiltrating Fairy Tail, she decides to kill them all by throwing a giant calling at them, which would have also not only killed the infiltrators, but also a few of her Fairy Tail members. Which means that she really has not a lot of regard for her subordinates. And then we are going to cut to when she's decided to be up more close and personal in the fight, and she starts to see that Skune is in deep pain, further mutating by his vampire blood, and it's basically Gyokuro Shuzen saying that it's all Mocha's fault because she gave him too much of her vampire blood constantly, and he's basically becoming a ghoul. And the fact that it's the same blood that courses through Dracula's body, Dracula's being so close to Dracula is mutating Skune. And she further points out that that the Rosary had the power to control Dracula, and she was going to use it to basically wipe out the human race. And to further add insult to injury, she was going to have her daughters basically kill each other. Be it Aqua Shuzen. Well, though technically Aqua was also her stepdaughter, but she was more tolerant of her than Akasha. I mean, tolerant to her than she was to Akashia. And she just, or was it, and be the Kahlua Shuzen for it to fight her and Kokua. So yeah, as long as she got what she wanted, she had little to no regard for the safety and lives of her daughters. And she even went so far as to prove her superiority to Skune as the head of the vampire. No, wait, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. And when things were heading a little south, when some of the newspaper club members were fighting off some of her fairy tale members, she decides to initiate the mutated blood of Dracula inside her Shuzen family to mutate them into chimeras, which is a mix of multiple monsters. She did this all for her quest for revenge. So yes, even with her quest for revenge, she was not above mutating her entire family. And she said the exact same thing would happen to Skune, and even had Mocha beg her to do something to help her, and Gyokuro said yes, but she also said she was going to do some experiments on her, and if he do some experiments on him, and if he survived, he would become her pet. And yes, so yeah, Gyokuro Shuzen is a very ruthless, manipulative, sadistic character who can give the likes of Ryago and Frieza and Boo and so many other characters a run for their money. And then we cut to after she sort of lost the fight to Skune not too long after that whole speech. She decides to fuse with Dracula to fight the rest of the newspaper club, and decides to torment Mocha with the powers of Dracula, and further state that it was ironic that the rosary that was meant to protect her from Dracula is now going to be used to control Dracula so that she can kill it. So basically, even going further to say that her mother only brought her despair, not protection. So yes, Gyokuro Shuzen was a very spiteful person. And by the end of it, when Mocha threatened to take away the rosary from her, thus preventing any protection she had from Dracula, and thus Gyokuro would have been absorbed by him, which ultimately did happen. It was a very, very, very much poetic justice. So yeah, I hope you all understood why this character was so complex and was really deserving of their title. And I really hope that you all considered that this was like a redemption for me to better explain explain the whole matter. So, stay tuned as I offer the next video on my thoughts on the whole Sasuke, Sakura, and Karen issue. I'll catch you guys in a bit.